Welcome to 7:30. As we go to air tonight, a frightening drama is continuing in downtown Sydney. A group of hostages, we aren't sure how many, are trapped inside a cafe held by at least one gunman. His motives are unknown, his demands unclear, and the outcome uncertain. Authorities fear that this is the type of lone wolf terrorist attack they've long anticipated, and it's attracting attention around the globe. Our reporters Adam Harvey and Sean Rubenstein-Dunlop have been on the story all day.
And we are making the difficult but necessary decisions in order to get us there.
Matthias Cormann there. Now, just before we go on, I'll mention a tweet that New South Wales Police have just issued in the last minute or so. A police operation is underway in Martin Place in Sydney CBD.
OK, I just want to stop just for a moment and pause you there. We've just got some breaking news. There's a police operation underway in the heart of the city. One block of Martin Place has been cordoned off and several police vehicles are at the scene. An ABC reporter has seen one officer with a weapon drawn.
Just here at Channel 7, all of the staff here are being told to get away from the window.
And this is frightening and chilling stuff. What you're watching is live. It's happening here in Martin Place, 30, 40 metres from where we're standing. We have cameras all over this for you now. We understand where those police are. That's on the corner of Elizabeth Street and Martin Place. Even they're moving away now. So
guns have been drawn.
Let's go, got to move. 100 metres that way, please. Let's go, guys, it's closed. Yeah, we're packing Let's move. You look like you're packing up, let's go.
Sarah Gerrithy is the ABC reporter in Martin Place and we're crossing to her now. What can you see?
There are dozens and dozens of police. Some are very heavily armed in helmets and Kevlar suits. There's a heavily armoured police vehicle here as well. Over the last little while, I've been moved further back from the scene, but when I was allowed a little closer, I could see inside the Lindt building a woman with her hands up against the glass.
I walked up to the door and then everyone was sitting down and the door was locked, which is pretty weird because it's never locked. And there was one guy walking around with a hat and a beard.
There's about 15 people in there and they're all up against the wall with their eyes closed and all their hands up against the glass. There's an ISIS flag in the window.
Now that's a
flag
it appears to be a flag. We're not going to make a call on that just yet, but that's a lady in a Lindt apron, so we assume that's a worker. Eyes closed, she would be in all sorts of trouble there right now.
The first pictures were the pictures of the windows, with the people, their hands against the windows. Straight away, there were 3 people that I knew. Seeing one of the girls there who's new, she's only been there about a week and a half.
We have an armed offender in premises holding an undisclosed number of hostages in the city.
The taking of hostages is awful enough, but it's the sight of the black flag and its association with Islamic extremism that is truly chilling.
We've moved to a footing that would be consistent with a terrorism event.
We don't yet know the motivation of the perpetrator. We don't know whether this is politically motivated, although obviously there are some indications that it could be.
We are being tested today in Sydney. The police are being tested, the public is being tested, but whatever the test, we will face it head on. We will get through this, but importantly now, our thoughts and prayers are with those who are caught up in the situation, and we say to them, we are with them.
I would gladly swap places with them. I don't want to be out here. Being out here is terrible. I don't know what's happening. I'm 2 blocks away from them. I don't know what's happening.
We don't know much. We know that a crime has taken place. We know that the people who've undertaken that crime are armed, and we know that they're holding people against their will. The last thing we know is that they are politically motivated in some way. They want to demonstrate a message, and the message they've chosen to demonstrate so far is the holding up of an Islamic flag. That's all we know.
And I deliver this message to you, especially the people of Australia.
The great fear is that this is the event that's been willed on by Islamic extremists.
Takbir! Takbir!
After anti-terror raids in September, it was reported that extremists planned to grab and execute a member of the public, possibly in Martin Place. At the time, former ASIO chief David Irvine spoke of his fears.
Our principal concern for more than a decade has been the threat of terrorism by extremists adhering to a particularly violent interpretation of Islam. The intent is to punish, to foment social upheaval, to destroy the public's confidence in their governments. It is a doctrine of brutality, as we have seen. It's a doctrine of hate, and I think it's a doctrine of inhumanity. A recurring nightmare has been, for me anyway, has been the so-called lone wolf, often radicalised over the internet and who has managed to avoid coming across our radar.
People are talking about this as a terrifying incident, wondering whether they should pull children out of daycare. So regardless of who has undertaken this crime, it has had an impact of spreading fear and making us think about terrorism.
Muslims in Australia are very concerned that they, as Australians, are being tainted and marred by individuals who are undertaking criminal activities of this nature. This has nothing to do with Muslims as Australians. In fact, we would say that we don't even apologise for the person, but we certainly condemn the act as every Australian would do so.
Police have identified the person they believe is responsible for today's siege. They've asked us not to name him, so as to not further aggravate the situation. He is known to police. And then a breakthrough. Mid-afternoon, 3 of the hostages trapped in the Lindt Cafe escaped.
You can see there one person with an apron around him appeared to be a man running out of that fire door.
I can confirm that 3 people have now emerged from the location in Martin Place. The first thing that we will do is make sure that they are okay, and then we will work with these people to find out some more information.
With 5 hostages now freed, police won't say how many others remain inside. They say they're negotiating with the gunman.
What does he want? What does he want?
There is speculation about what he might want, but we have to deal with him on the level of police negotiation. We cannot be engaged in any speculation, but let it also be reassured that we are monitoring all forms of communication, whether that is Facebook or Twitter, for any information that might assist. And again, I put out that plea and that message. If anybody does have any information, please let us know. It's really important that you pass it on, because even a smallest snippet of information might be vital.